The presidency of Joe Biden began at noon EST on January 20, 2021, when Biden was inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States. A Democrat from Delaware, he took office following the 2020 presidential election, in which he defeated the incumbent President Donald Trump. He is accompanied in office by Vice President Kamala Harris, the first woman, African American, and Asian American to hold that office. Biden entered office amid the COVID-19 pandemic, the worst infectious disease outbreak to affect the U.S. in a century, as well as an accompanying economic crisis and increased political polarization. On his first day in office, Biden took 2 steps to reverse President Trump's energy policy by restoring U.S. participation in the Paris Climate Change Accord and revoking the permit for the Keystone XL pipeline. He also halted funding for expansion of the Mexican border wall. On his second day, he issued a series of executive orders to deal with COVID-19, including activating the Defense Production Act of 1950. And set an early goal of achieving 100 million U.S. vaccinations in his first 100 days. Early in his presidency, Biden ordered retaliatory airstrikes against Syrian buildings used by Iranian militias to stage rocket attacks against U.S. targets in Iraq. He also used executive orders to reverse President Trump's America First policy toward U.S. allies. On March 11, 2021, he signed his first major bill into law, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, a $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. Biden announced that he would run for president in April 2019. Via a video and following 2 unsuccessful presidential campaigns in 1988 and 2008. On November 7, 4 days after Election Day, Biden was projected to have defeated the incumbent President Donald Trump, becoming president-elect of the United States with 306 of the total 538 electoral votes, and 81,268,924 popular votes versus 74,216,154 votes for Trump. Shortly afterwards, the Trump campaign launched several lawsuits against the results in the battleground states of Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Nevada and Michigan, raising unevidenced claims of widespread voter fraud that was subsequently dismissed by several courts. Though Biden was generally acknowledged as the winner, General Services Administration head Emily Murphy refused to initiate the transition to the president-elect, thereby denying funds and office space to his team. On November 23, after Michigan certified its results, Murphy issued the letter of ascertainment, granting the Biden transition team access to federal funds and resources for an orderly transition. 2 days after becoming the projected winner of the 2020 election, Biden announced the formation of a task force to advise him on the COVID-19 pandemic during the transition, co-chaired by former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, former FDA Commissioner David A. Kessler, and Yale University's Marcella Nunez-Smith. On January 6, a mob of thousands of Trump supporters violently broke into the Capitol in the hope of overturning Biden's election, forcing Congress to evacuate during the counting of the Electoral College votes. More than 26,000 National Guard members were deployed to the Capitol for the inauguration, with thousands remaining into the spring. On January 20, 2021, Biden was sworn in by U.S. Chief Justice John Roberts as the 46th President of the United States, completing the oath of office at 11:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 minutes before the legal start of his term. Biden's inaugural speech laid out his vision to unite the nation, prefaced by the various impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, economic strife, climate change, political polarization, and racial injustice. Biden called for an end to the uncivil war of political, demographic, and ideological American cultures through a greater embrace of diversity. He cited the Civil War, Great Depression, World Wars, and September 11 attacks as moments in American history where citizens' better angels prevailed, saying that the solution, unity, must again be invoked to rise from the cascading crises of the present. This unity, he proclaimed, exists in the common objects that define America: opportunity, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and truth. He explicitly decried white supremacy and nativism, calling them an ugly reality of American life he vows to defeat that clouds the American ideal set out in the U.S. Declaration of Independence, that all Americans are equal. Biden pledged that the United States would engage with the world once again, repair our alliances, and act as a trusted partner for peace and security. Near the conclusion of his speech, Biden held a moment of silence for those who died in the COVID-19 pandemic. Quoting the Jean Shear composition, American Anthem, he implored Americans to consider their legacy in answering the call of history, to protect democracy, hope, truth, and justice, secure liberty, and make America a beacon.